I guess it's kind of like the $15 an hour battle, where the big corporations were funding the fight for $15 an hour, and then once they got it, they replaced everybody with machines.
Yeah, that's exactly what they were trying to do the entire time. That's what this is all about, in my opinion. You're going to start seeing more and more drones because cops are terrible people, but drones, they'll just zap your ass. You know, they're just going to follow the law. Or
Yeah.
robots giving you tip parking tickets or going to the scene of a crime. I guess I can't even say it. I'll tell you
Well,
what,
they've
there
got
was a
those.
precedent. It was about 3 or 4 years ago when there was that protest in Dallas, and those three cops got killed. Those guys sniped those cops. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
A
yeah.
while back. Well, the precedence that was set was that those cops used a remote military style robot to go into the apartment where those people were and killed them with that robot. That
Dude, I
was
did
the
not know
first
that.
time. Yeah, nobody really talks about that, but that was one of the first times. I looked that up to make sure, but I know that they had a drone type vehicle that killed somebody, and that was one of the first times. That was the first time that ever happened, at least in America.
So did they create legislation to block it, the use, or what?
I
What was?
don't know. I don't think there is any legislation about that, and that's one of those dangerous precedents that could be set. You know.
Wow. Mm-mm-mm-mm. That's definitely something that needs to be addressed
Yeah.
in the coming days, because that's, I mean, that's what some people are saying, is that the reason they're attacking the police so much is because they want to replace them with more drones and robots.
Yeah. No, I saw. That's what Millie Weaver said in that Shadowgate documentary. It's
Mm-mm-mm.
exactly that. That these defense contractors have contracts, and they've created these, a whole big thing about policing. It's the same thing that they did when remember the shoe bomber guy that went onto a plane? It was a black guy, and he went onto a plane with this Egyptian guy. Says, no, it's okay. He can get on the plane. The guy gets on the plane, and then there's a little popping noise and a hiss and there's some smoke, and they grab the guy. The FBI grabs the guy and drag him off, and they say he was a terrorist that tried to set a bomb on fire, and we need to put these new sensors in here. Well, that whole thing was a scam. It was all about selling those sensors to the airports and the government that would install them in the airports one way or the other. But
Mm.
that's when they put the naked body scanners in there in the
Okay,
airport.
let's see
Right
here. This
after that.
I'm going to share this article up right quick.
A mob blow up and kill this
Well, I'm
man.
going to show you what's going to
Don't
blow.
tell my heart, my achy breaky heart.
I'll show you what's going to blow up and kill this man.
I'll just blow. What happened?
So, okay, so
What we got?
all right, so we were
U.S.
talking about a
robots
second
reveal
ago.
Dallas shooting suspects, believed to be the first in U.S. history. Yes,
This
it was the
4 years ago. So,
Yeah, I knew it
uh,
was 3 or 4 years ago. Look,
uh,
that machine right there, Jeffrey. Look at that thing. For the love of God.
look at
Don't
this
get me
wacky do
wrong.
machine. It's going to get.
Don't get me wrong. Those people were sorry, and they're filth, and they deserve to die, in my opinion, for what they did. Blind, cold murder is no excuse for
Yeah.
robots coming in.
Ah,
Go get them. Get them yourself. But damn it, I don't believe in that.
it's scary, man.
I do
Um,
not believe in that.
for what experts are calling the first time in history, U.S. police have used a robot and a show of lethal force. Early Sunday morning, Dallas police used a bomb
That's
disposal
right.
robot with an explosive device on its manipulator arm to kill a suspect after 5 police officers were murdered and 7 others wounded.
Yeah. And so then they're like, bring in the robot.
And I guess they got a lot of them.
Robot. Hold on. To go back up. So I thought that was a 50 cal or something on the top of that thing, but that's a
No,
bomb.
they put a bomb on the
All
arm.
right, go back
They
down.
just put a bomb on the arm and
I want to look at
rolled
this.
it.
Hold on. Roll back down a little bit.
Okay.
Where did it say that?
We saw no other option but to use our bomb robot and place a device on its extension for it to detonate where the suspect was. Dallas Police Chief David Brown told reporters. Now, we don't know if they had come up with any legislation or if they were highly discouraged of using this technology. But I guarantee you, if there's any protest that we should do, we should be protesting the use of robots against people for sure.
Yeah.
I'm all for
Yeah.
that because, I mean, just think of what would happen to these poor people out there who are, a lot of them, some of them, I don't mind a peaceful protest, get out there and yell and holler in the streets, but if they start rolling out robots, those robots have no conscience, man. I mean,
That's right. And God help the people that, I don't know, man. Especially when they start talking about robot rights and stuff like that too. You've heard all that stuff.
yeah,
And
that's
it's
what
about
that
you
movie.
beat up one of these police officer robots, just like beating up a cop, and put you in prison for 20 years for beating up a freaking bomb robot that's trying to kill you.
Gosh, man, that's just.
Or
And it's
100 years
just
or
another one of the
whatever.
wrinkles in our society we have to deal with is
What is
this.
the robot murder on? You know.
We don't know. We haven't crossed that bridge yet.
Yeah.
That's what I'm scared of. These people are bringing forward all this new legislation, new laws. You know, Florida. Don't know if you saw that Florida passed some really strict laws for these protesters and rioters, which
Yeah, I saw that.
you know, stop
Yeah.
the protesters, stop the rioters.
Once again, that's a double-bladed sword. You know, I don't want us to have more laws limiting our freedoms, but at the same time, we have to at least keep people safe a little. I mean, you can't just have people breaking into people's houses. But the laws that are in place were enforced. I don't think we would have that problem. But the
No,
problem
no.
is we're not having the laws that are in place enforced. It's the same thing that, you know, with anything. This is the will of certain people to make this world a more chaotic place. And I can't stand that. You know, I don't want this world to be a more chaotic place. And if within reason. And you can't be submissive either. But at the same time, you know, these people are just not making anything better. You know, they
Yeah,
haven't
all
changed
piss and
anybody's
vinegar.
mind. You
Yeah,
know,
they got a lot
they're
of they
trying
got a
to
lot of
intimidate people into their ideology, and it's just like, no,
not
that's
gonna
not going
work.
to happen. Not for most Americans. I mean, maybe other. There's a lot of people that I will say though. I will say this: there's a lot of people out there that are worried about offending somebody so much, you know. And I mean, I do it myself. I think we all
Yeah.
do. I think it's human nature.
Well, there's common courtesy, and then there's
Yeah.
this pseudo passive aggressive
Well,
bullying.
exactly. That's exactly right. Passive aggressive bullying is a good way to put it.
You know, it's a psychological the apologist society, where you have before you even make a statement, you have to set up this big apology
Yeah.
beforehand, just to say, okay, I'm putting my cards in a row. I'm going to say something, and those people out there who are kind of sensitive with thin skin, y'all be ready, because I'm fixing to say something that's going to be, it's going to hurt your feelings a little bit. Tell you about yourself.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to. Nobody can watch Blazing Saddles anymore. So.
Oh shit, man. What happened to Blazing Saddles days?
They can't. When are we going to
Nobody
get
can
back to those
take a
days?
damn joke. Everybody should look at that and laugh.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can't laugh at that, they need to look in the mirror and go, why do I find that offensive? And if
Yeah.
I do, why? Or say, hey, you know what? I didn't like that movie, and move on with your life. Because what's offensive to you shouldn't define you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it should be something like, I'm good at playing the piano, you know,
Yeah.
or there's accomplishments in life, and you're not going to eradicate the feelings of the world there by changing words or doing things like that. That's not going to work.
Well, it's a trap. It's a trap that you know these people, it's kind of this reactionary syndrome where you go out and you go crazy before you know everything that's the whole story behind what you're doing, to the point where, okay, if you actually sat down and looked into the reasoning behind why you're censoring speech, then you say, oh, well, I don't think I should do that. It's you're not really, it's this, like the critical theory. Most people don't realize this is a calculated attack on culture, to the
Yeah,
point where
Marxist.
they literally criticize every single aspect of a culture to create a tension between different cults. And I'm not talking about like religious cults, but sociological cults. So, punk rockers against country music, or rap against country
Right.
music,
I
or
get your point.
religions.
More than just lifestyles.
Yeah. So that's what people don't really realize. They're being used as tools, and in the long run, it's really damaging our society, when we should be going back to the old schoolyard saying, sticks and stones, they can break my
Yeah.
bones, but words can't
Oh,
hurt me.
it's absolutely true. I believe, and Mom said this, but I believe it started when they started making such a big deal about bullying. And I'm not saying that I think we've all been bullied in our life. I'm not saying we haven't, but yeah, bullying has a lot more aspects to it now too. You're right, Lacey. There's cyberbullying. There's so much going on with the
Well,
internet.
it's the ability to
But
really
what it,
stand up for yourself and feel good about yourself
yeah,
afterwards, instead of this, you're going to get a trophy and you think you feel good on the surface, but you really have a lack of a self accomplishment whenever everybody gets a trophy, and then nobody's declared the winner. So, instead of really facing up to your bully, you get, you're this
you
pseudo
become
self.
submissive to him. You
Yeah.
become submissive to your bully. You
Yeah.
never. I mean, I always use this analogy, but like you remember those geese. You actually can experience this one. You know those geese that are in the goat pen, right?
Yeah.
There was this area between our house and my grandfather's house. Me and Jeffrey had to walk through. That was kind of like Papa had a small little farm there. He had some ducks, had some goats, had these freaking geese, dude. And when I was a kid, when I was about 5, 6, 7 years old, I was scared to death of those geese.
Yeah.
And I remember when I got 8 or 9 years old, that goose was hissing at me, and I just built up all my courage. I was just like, I'm not gonna run from this goose, and I was like, get out of here, goose, get back. And I like chased the goose back, and he kind of backed up a little bit too, and then hissed at me, and I kicked at him a couple of times and stuff like that. And yeah, he eventually I got to the point where the geese didn't mess with me, or if they did, I wasn't scared of them anymore, because I
Yeah.
knew that I was capable of defending myself, and I wasn't going to
That's
be bullied
perfect.
by them anymore
That's a
because I
perfect
had the tools.
example.
And I think that's the problem with a lot of this. Like Mom, said they don't even teach kids the social skills, they don't have the tools to actually even defend themselves socially
Yeah.
in a situation, because they're like, don't bully, don't say that. And so then they get into environments where they are in conflict and they are in a confrontation, because guess what? We're on a little speck of rock flying around a big fiery ball, and there's water smashing down and there's shit going down everywhere.
It's
And
a
guess what? You're going to run into some confrontations in your life. And if you don't have at least the social skills to get yourself out of that confrontation, much less the physical skills in some situations, hopefully never, then you can't stand up for yourself, and you're just going to be a milk toast human for the rest of your life.
there's a lot of really good
Yeah.
examples you can learn from growing up around a farm and around animals. You remember those black goats that those goats that they had straight up horns, and they had these little things coming down from their neck. He had them when
Yeah.
we were real young, and I was out there one day, and I was looking at the pond, and I was looking out there just playing. I was minding my own business, but I didn't realize those goats had come up behind me, and I left my back turned to those animals, and they butted me. One of them head butted me straight in the
I
middle
do
of the
kind of
back,
remember that, dude.
and I woke up off the ground. And that's a good lesson in life, is that, you know, if you're not experienced and you turn your back on the wrong creature in this life, they'll come back behind you, and they'll get you, and they'll knock you down, and you'll wake up on the ground.
Yeah, like don't ever turn your back to Wade.
Never turn your back to
He'll
Wade.
punch you in the neck. He'll
Okay.
punch you right in the neck.
Yes.
Yeah, don't turn your back on me, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I might
You gotta let them.
be-
You gotta let them think they're tough, so that they have a little bit of confidence. You know. So.
Yeah. I noticed that he didn't actually hit you or anything.
That's true. But you know, just lessons from some bumpkins here from growing up on a tiny farm, not really a big farm.
Not a farm, really. It was just I guess it was a sustenance farm or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, more than most people get these days.
Yeah, I mean, we could have lived off of that.
Yeah.
I guess perpetually on what was there. I mean, I don't see any way it would have stopped. There was a farm. There was enough ducks that they could keep surviving. He had chickens. Yeah, I forgot I had the chicken coop back in the back. We had pigs at one time. Goats. And then all the blackberries and all the corn and all the freaking everything. You know, okra.
Yeah, we
So,
had a
yeah.
few pigs.
Had a bunch of worms. Had the compost pile full of worms where you could go fishing.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, that's just how people lived. When I was I was catching the very last edges of that, and when I was 7, 8 years old, 9 years old.
Mm-hmm. We got to see the world change in such a drastic way.
Oh no, it's crazy. We've lived in an interesting time, a huge transition between what we were when we were young, when we had a phone on the wall, you know, with a rotary phone on the wall with a string on it, party lines. You remember that? Do you remember?
Yeah, we could hear the neighbors.
Yeah. I didn't know if you were too young or not.
I remember Layla and them, when you called up Layla and them.
Oh yeah.
They would always have that.
They still had a party line.
Now we have these good boys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Wade will never understand the meaning of, if you missed the TV show, then
that was it. You just didn't see that.
I know about that. I know about that.
And it's not even like you can go, oh well, I'll watch it tomorrow. No, it's gone.
That episode's gone for years.
Yeah, you might see it on a rerun 16 years later. Oh yeah, that was the one. That was the one I never have seen. It's the only one I missed on that Tuesday.
The story finally makes sense after that.
Yeah, now I finally know. That's a pretty interesting thing too. You know, there's a whole era of TV that was kind of between the VCR, before the VCR came out. Tape came out that didn't get transferred. There was a lot of stuff that didn't get transferred from the old film to the new film, and then between VCR and when it went to CD or DVD, I mean, there's a lot of movies that didn't never translate back over, that are never made.
They're gone forever now. There was a big fire. I guess it was about 8-10 years ago. There was a big fire in these warehouses where they housed all this film from old TV shows and the early age of the silver age of film.
That's sad.
They all burnt down. It's all gone. You'll never get it back. Old movies and TV series we'll never see again.
That's sad.
I
went into a house in Florida. This guy was a producer for Disney.
On tape or something?
It's not possible, Wade. You can't put them on tape. The film is burnt. That was the only source of information.
Why couldn't you just remake the movie?
Because all the people are dead, and there's no memory or no script at all. All right. We've got us a Daily Caller. FBI investigates Steele Dossier source as a possible Russian spy years before Trump probe. So, looks like this whole thing is coming to pass here. This Steele Dossier. Let's pull it up.
All right, let me look at this. I'm gonna read it. FBI investigated Steele Dossier sources as a Trump as a possible Russian spy years before Trump probe. Okay, so there's that guy. A bombshell FBI memo released Thursday says the FBI opened a counterintelligence investigation of the primary sources for dossier author Christopher Steele. The memo says that the investigators pursued a Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act warrant against the source Igor Dachenko in 2010. Investigators of the Crossfire Hurricane Team, what a name, became aware of the previous investigation in December of 2016 when they were investigating the members of the Trump campaign. Okay, so they basically found out that this guy was working for the Russians. This guy, the Steele Dossier guy, from what I'm seeing there, am I looking at that right?
Yeah.
Worked for the Russians, basically. Senator
Yes.
Lindsey Graham, who released the documentary, called it the most stunning and damning revelation as his committee has uncovered in its review of Crossfire Hurricane. Yeah. The
Yeah.
FBI opened up counterintelligence investigation on the primary source of the dossier, author Christopher Steele, and considered obtaining the warrant to wiretap him in 2010, according to the document released on Thursday. Man, so there you go. I mean, the FBI was aware of the information about the source identified elsewhere as Igor Dachenko by December 26, according to the document. That's insane.
So they knew all along that it was Hillary Clinton who was using the Russians to manipulate the 2016 presidential election.
More so than Donald Trump was.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
They're just the ones who sent the spies in, the Russian spies in, to create a front that Donald Trump was using the Russians to manipulate the election. So this is the most stunning and damning revelation the committee has uncovered, Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Lindsey Graham said in a statement after releasing an FBI memo about the dossier source. The document shows that the FBI considered a Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, FISA, warrant of Dachenko years before the Bureau relied heavily on information that he had provided Steele, a former British spy, to obtain FISA against Carter Page. Oh my God. And you won't see none of this on the mainstream media. They're not going to allow you to see this.
This is an IG report. This is footnotes from the IG report showed that two Russian intelligence officers knew July 2016 that Steele was investigating the Trump campaign.
Okay. According to the FBI document, Dachenko had contact with suspected Russian intelligence officers in Washington, D.C. in 2005 and 2006. Good God.
This guy's definitely heavily tied to Russian intelligence.
That goes back to Bush.
Yeah, of course. They're all how this works, man.
God. Okay, so this is all the way back to March 2011, based on an interaction he allegedly had with 3 employees of an American think tank.
What American think tank? I like the way they just dropped that off. That's probably DARPA.
Yeah, probably DARPA.
They don't want to put that on there.
For Brookings Institute.
Oh, there it is.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Prominent liberal foreign policy think tank. Brookings. Those dirty dogs, man.
And there you go. It all goes back to a Democratic think tank that's trying to figure out a way to win the election for the Marxists.
Yep, for the Marxists. You know, they've been infiltrated so deeply, you know, people can't even find a real...
So tell people what the Brookings Institution is, Jeffrey.
What about it?
People don't know what the Brookings Institution is.
They don't know.
No, seriously, tell people what it is.
I'm going to look it up. Brookings Institute. And I don't know Brookings Institute. All about us.
The
Wikipedia.
Let's look at the wiki. Let's look at the Wikipedia.
The Brookings Institute, often referred referred to simply as Brookings is an American research group founded in 1916 on Think Tank Row in Washington, D.C. It conducts research and education in the social sciences, primarily in economics and tax policy, metropolitan policy, governance, foreign policy, global economy, and economic development. Its stated mission is to provide innovative and practical recommendations that advance three broad goals: strengthen American democracy, foster the economic and social welfare, security and opportunity of all Americans, and secure a more open, safe, prosperous, and cooperative international system. I mean, on the surface, just like any of these groups, people would say, well, that doesn't sound very bad. That sounds okay. I mean, why would you want to be against something like that? But, you know, there's a lot of key words in here like democracy, social welfare. You know, those are key words for the Marxists that they use to infiltrate.
So push this social welfare, we need to, you know, do whatever, you know, wear a mask or.
So these people have deep connections to so many nasty, dastardly groups, and I mean, this is global.
This is the whole thing. They probably came up with this freaking harebrained idea and sold it to the Democratic Party. I mean, I don't think these kind of entities are completely and solely Democratic. Whatever, they were formed 104 years ago, right after, by the way, our government was taken on, 3 years after damn Federal Reserve Banking Act and everything else.
Yeah. It's that they're old, they're ancient. It's over 100 years old now.
These are these global puppet masters that these play. Look at this Joker. Look at this Joker.
Robert S. Brookings.
A businessman, and the famous words that you always better look twice when you hear philanthropist. Those are scary words.
Originally created the formation of three organizations: the Institute for Government Research, the Institute of Economics, with funds from Carnegie, oh Lordy mercy, there's Carnegie right there, and Robert Brookings Graduate School affiliates with affiliated
There's
with
Rockefeller down here too.
Oh, there you go.
Secure grants from the Rockefeller and Ford Foundation.
Oh, see there.
DuPont. Yeah. So anyway, all the players of the last 50 years are involved here with this Brookings Institute.
So that's who Brookings is. They're, you know, Russian president.
Okay, go back up. I said something about the NRA. Stop. The National Recovery Administration, because they thought the NRA was impeding economic recovery. Of course.
Interesting.
Is that talking about the National Rifle Association? No, the National Recovery Administration. Okay, I'm fine.
Okay.
My bad. No, it's just scanning through. Anyway, so yeah, this is a, let's see what else they were involved in here.
You got Medvedev over here talking to him, 2010.
Oh, that guy. Oh.
That's the one that Obama was on hot mic saying, well, I'm going to win the election. Give me more time. Remember?
Oh, yeah. I do remember that.
Interesting. Very interesting. Strange. I mean, there's a lot of connections here. You know, you start going and digging into these groups that have been around for so long. So they're just front groups, man.
This is the swamp. I mean, This is the swamp that Donald Trump talked about draining right here. These
swamp beasts
that wear a shirt and tie, and they go into a room every day and try to do some kind of economic development and planning when the free market doesn't need them planning any of our economy.
What?
Let the drug dealers sell drugs, as far as I'm concerned. You know, let the freaking world run itself. We don't have to have something over our shoulder every.
Let's see here.
What are you looking at here?
Another thing that I don't know if you heard about it. Dan Bongino, he's got a tumor in his neck.
Oh wow!
Pretty sad. Pretty bad deal.
That is too
Uh,
bad.
Yeah, that's not good. Dan Bongino.
It's called ban. You put ban bong.
Ban bongs. Don't ban the bongs.
I'm not gonna ban the bong.
Bongino show. I don't know if he says anything, but yeah, Dan Bongino. He's got a tumor in his neck. Um, kind of sad. Kind
So
of sad.
what's the deal with it? I mean, is it cancer?
He's gonna know here soon if it's cancerous or not.
No, I
He
hope-
doesn't know. It's just a mass. I mean, he's a healthy human being.
Oh yeah, quite a bit. I don't ever watch that guy as much as I should, I guess.
He had a really good interview with Trump the other day. It was pretty good episode. I just started kind of watching him, going back through and watching him some. He's a good guy.
It was a really good video of this guy today. It was this dude that's was just a worker, man. He's a hardworking guy. He was thanking Tim Pool for opening his eyes up. Look on YouTube and just type in "Thank you, Tim Pool," and it should pop up. I don't want to play it or anything, but you can at least look it up. Give a shout out to that guy. It was a very powerful video, and you should definitely watch it. That guy, the second one, Message to Tim Pool.
Message to Tim Pool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really good. It's powerful, but we don't need to play all 9 minutes of it, man. Definitely
Nah.
look at it though, because that guy's yeah, he just gave him the he just broke it down, dude. He just does a good job, and he's a very good man, and he's the kind of man that I'll fight for. He's what we're all this. He's what America's all about. That guy right there.
Just a working dude that just he saw the
Working
light.
man. And I thought he did a very good job presenting himself, people, better than I do. Anyway, definitely check that out. I wanted to give a shout out to that guy. He's had a viral video there with that, and it's been a big video for him.
Awesome. Yeah, Tim Pool's great. He's a really.
Oh no,
awesome
he does a
dude.
fantastic job. There's nobody that works harder. You can say that. You can say that you might make better videos or your content might be better, but you don't work as hard as Tim Pool, buddy. That dude's 16 hours a day. He don't stop. He's constantly looking at different news.
Well, one thing I want to do is I want to thank anybody and everybody who's coming and looking at the show. Share our videos, subscribe. We'll be sharing out our videos to as many people as we can, and we're trying to improve each episode. And each time we're building websites, getting better graphics, putting up articles we can, topics we like and we think will be interesting, and conversating about topics that are we feel are important. So yeah, if you can, y'all subscribe and check out our show. We'll be getting some more sponsors here soon, and some more attire, some more memorabilia and stuff like that we can get out. And go check out our CBD websites, Texas Outlaw CBD and Encapsule CBD for our amazing CBD products.
Oh, and DaltonDesignsOnline.com.
For sure, Dalton Designs.
Check out if you're looking for some really nice jewelry. We just got back from mining, and I have some rough material. So yeah, just let us know if you're interested in any kind of thing like that.
Sure. Yeah, and we'll have to get you in the in y'all studio one day, and we'll do a little bit of going through some of the stuff that you've got, and some of the process that you go through, so we can get a little bit of content as far as that goes, because I think the process is really interesting. I enjoyed going out there and working at y'all studio the other day, just playing around on the grinders and checking everything out. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, I need to come back. All right, man. Well, I appreciate it, and thank you very much, and y'all have a nice night.